Hello friends, February 2021. In New Delhi's Inderpuri locality, a man named Devinder Sharma lost his entire family under mysterious circumstances. Devinder himself, wife Anita, and daughters Priyanka and Divya all of a sudden started complaining of severe pain throughout their body, so much that they all had to get admitted to the hospital. Their medical test reports came as normal, but day by day the pain was getting agonizing. Doctors were unable to figure out what was going wrong. Within a month, one by one, Anita, Priyanka, and Divya lost the battle of their lives. The only one doctors could save was Devinder himself. When the matter was later investigated by the police, it was found that all this was an insider's job, whom Devinder Sharma himself invited into the family. These murders were done on pretext of such weird superstitions whose details will baffle your mind. So let's dive into the full story. I am Sam and you're watching Crime Stories by Sam. On 1st February 2021, Devinder Sharma's younger daughter Priyanka complained of severe stomach pain along with multiple instances of vomiting. After some time, her arms and legs started to get numb. Seeing the severity of all this, she was immediately admitted to Apollo Hospital. But in next 24 hours, her condition got even worse, due to which on 3rd February 2021, she was transferred to BLK Max Super Speciality Hospital. But when the doctors ran an in-depth full body test on her, everything returned as normal. Day by day, her condition was getting worse. She was in severe pain, and now she had started losing all her hairs too. But none of the diagnoses showed anything abnormal. Therefore, doctors were completely clueless about the causes of her symptoms and were just doing trial and error treatments. After 12 days on 15th February 2021, Priyanka lost the battle of her life. But this was just the beginning of bad times. Almost a week after Priyanka's death, Priyanka's mother Anita also started complaining of body pain and vomiting. Soon Devinder Sharma himself and their maid also started showing similar symptoms, as if some kind of infection has spread throughout the family. The three were rushed to Delhi's Sir Gangaram Hospital. Here also, like in Priyanka's case, doctors were completely clueless about the underlying causes, as the reports were normal but symptoms were severe. Fortunately, Devinder Sharma and their maid got successfully treated through trial and error method. But Anita Sharma's condition was getting worse with each passing day. In the meantime, on 4th March 2024, Devinder Sharma's elder daughter Divya, who was in her in-laws' house at the time, also started to show similar symptoms. But the severity of those symptoms were way too high in her case. She was also immediately admitted to Sir Gangaram Hospital. But after just 2 days, on 6th March 2021, she went into coma. Seeing the similarity of symptoms and perfectly normal reports, one of the directors of Sir Gangaram Hospital, Brigadier Katoch, started having doubts regarding the assumption that all this was a case of mere family infection. Therefore, on 14th March 2021, he conducted a heavy metal test of the full family. When the test results were revealed, it uncovered one of the biggest murder plots in recent history of India. The test showed abnormally high amount of thallium in their bodies. Basically, thallium is a tasteless, colorless and odorless heavy metal that is highly toxic and in the past has been used by personalities like Iraq's ex-dictator Saddam Hussein and Russian President Vladimir Putin to exterminate their enemies. Now, a week after the results were out, on 21st March 2021, Anita Sharma breathed her last. Next day, on 22nd March 2021, Brigadier S. Katoch made a detailed medical report stating that the whole family of Devinder Sharma were given high doses of thallium. Generally, in such cases, the maid or the servant of the house is the first suspect. But in this case, the maid was also hospitalized due to thallium poisoning. So definitely someone else was behind all this. Plus, the sale purchase of thallium is heavily regulated by the government. Therefore, it is completely out of reach for a common man. On top of that, the way the entire family of Devinder Sharma was targeted, it was very clear that all this was an insider's job. Now, during police interrogation, Devinder Sharma started recalling all the events that took place that led to the start of these symptoms. Basically, on 31st January 2021, that is a day before Priyanka's symptoms started, the whole family of Devinder Sharma, consisting of wife Anita, younger daughter Priyanka, elder daughter Divya, and her twin kids, were all together. Divya brought her twin kids for a meetup with their grandparents and were living with them since a few days. In the afternoon, Divya's husband Varun Arora came to take Divya and the kids back home with him. Do note, it was very rare for Varun to visit his in-laws' house. Therefore, everyone was pretty surprised seeing him. But the surprises didn't just end there. Varun brought with himself some basha fish curry for everyone, which he cooked all by himself. Even though all this was very weird, but since Varun was the son-in-law of the family, everyone just got along with it. Varun himself served fish to everyone except 3 people, both his kids, whom he deliberately fed milk just before the meal started, and Priyanka, who was out of home for some work. An important thing to note here is that while everyone insisted Varun to join them for the meal, he declined by saying that he has a jaw pain going on due to continuously laughing at a stand-up comedy event, which he visited in the morning. Now, as if all this was already not weird enough, he deliberately waited for Priyanka to reach home, which she did at 5:30 in the evening, and an hour later at 6:30, Varun served her with 2 big pieces of fish. Then later in the evening, he along with Divya and the kids left for their home in Greater Kailash, and the very next day Priyanka got sick. Now all this gave police a clear indication that Varun is indeed the mastermind. But Varun was financially very well off. He had a successful real estate business, and on top of that, he was earning 4 lakh rupees as a side income from rents. Therefore, police needed some solid evidences to accuse him. Therefore, they did a forensic scan of Devinder Sharma's house to confirm the murder weapon, that is thallium, and indeed found multiple traces of thallium throughout the house. Now they needed to confirm a motive behind the crime. Thus, they scanned Varun's phone and laptop for traces of extramarital affair, which is generally the most common reason behind such crimes. But it came as negative. In fact, even some media outlets falsely declared extramarital affair to be the reason behind the crime. But the reality was far from it. Basically, when police did an in-depth scan of Varun's internet history, they found search terms like how to make someone very sick, list of slow poisons, and poisons that cannot be detected easily. Now the question was, how did he got access to thallium, as it comes under strict government regulations? Basically, long ago, thallium was used in rat poisons, but due to rising cases of homicides involving thallium, government banned it for public use. Now it can only be acquired for industrial uses such as manufacturing of optics, superconductors, low temperature thermometers, etc. Plus, it is only sold on company to company basis and not to individuals like you and me. Now, to get past these regulations, Varun made a mind-boggling plan. Varun's father-in-law Devinder Sharma along with his 2 brothers were owner of a homeopathic company named Lord's Homeopathic. By forging documents, he placed an order of 25 grams of thallium in the name of Lord's Homeopathic with Haryana's chemical company Pharma Affiliates. But he made the payment from his mother Jia Arora's bank account, which was registered with Varun's phone number. Also, for delivery, rather than giving Lord's Homeopathic registered address, he gave the address of his maternal uncle's home at Gurugram. Technically, all this should have been considered as a point of concern by officials of Pharma Affiliates, but they didn't give it much thought and proceeded with the sales. On the other side, to prevent suspicion, Varun did not even inform his uncle about this incoming parcel, but rather asked the watchman to receive it, and later he personally collected the parcel from him. When police showed all these evidences to Varun, he quickly confessed his crime. Initially, when asked about the reason behind the crime, he lied to police stating that His in-laws used to humiliate him because his business was going through a rough patch. But when the police did a quick check on the financials of Varun's business, they found that it was rather doing great. The real reason behind the crime was poles apart from what Varun was stating, and to fully understand it, we need to go back in the time. In 2009, Devinder Sharma's elder daughter Divya got married to a real estate businessman Varun Arora. 6 years into the marriage, everything was going great. The family was financially well off. Everyone was happy. But the only thing that was not going right was Divya not being able to conceive. To tackle the issue, the couple took the help of New Delhi's top fertility expert Dr. Indira Ganesan, who made Divya conceive by IVF technology, and in August 2019, she gave birth to healthy twins. There was a wave of happiness in both the families, and everything was going great till 2020, when Varun's father Chandarlal passed away, and almost 3 months after his death, Divya conceived naturally. But when she got herself checked with Dr. Indira, a lot of fatal complications were found, due to which Dr. Indira suggested her to abort the child, to which Divya also agreed. But when she disclosed her intent to get an abortion to Varun and her mother, they got furious, because they believed that this time it was Varun's father who was getting reincarnated as his child. There were two major reasons behind this superstitious belief. One, the limited time gap between Varun's father's death and Divya conceiving. Second, the coincidence that Varun's father's birthday and Divya's expected date of delivery falling on the same date. Now, after this abortion disclosure, Divya started to face domestic violence on regular basis by Varun and his mother. Things got so bad that at last Divya took the help of her family and got the baby aborted without the knowledge of Varun. But later on, when Varun got to know about this, he and her mother got so furious that he verbally threatened Divya to wipe out both her and her family, and this hatred led to his monstrous plan. As per Varun, he took the inspiration of all this from Saddam Hussein. Initially, he planned on using mercury or lead for this crime, but since both of these act as rapid poisons, the chances of getting caught was too high. Therefore, to prevent himself from getting caught, he decided to use thallium instead, and was very successful in using it, as he wiped off almost the entire family of Devinder Sharma in just 2 months. Now let's move to the court proceedings, as a lot of twists and turns were still remaining to be seen. Initially, a case was filed for triple murders, but the judge refused to consider the death of Priyanka as a murder because no postmortem was done after her death. As if you recall, initially she was the first and only one to show medical symptoms, and doctors of BLK Max Hospital were never able to detect thallium poisoning in her, and in her medical certificate too, they mentioned rabies as the cause of her death, while in reality she was never bitten by dogs or any other rabies spreading animals. Angered by all this, Devinder Sharma filed a case against Priyanka's doctors, Dr. Atul Prasad and Dr. Rahul Handa of BLK Max Hospital, for fabricating false records and helping the accused. But the judge dismissed this case too, due to non-availability of postmortem report of Priyanka. Now, one important point to note is that thallium is very notorious to diagnose. As soon as it enters the body, it attaches itself to the tissues and organs of the body rather than staying in the bloodstream. Thus, it easily stays undetected in normal blood tests. Then, after the doctors, fingers were raised against the police too. When Varun was arrested by the police, he ate a small dose of thallium himself, so that in medical test, it gets proved that he also ate the thallium-laden fish curry on that day with the whole family, thus making him a victim rather than an accused. Therefore, question was raised as to how he was able to consume thallium in police custody, thus questioning the role of police in helping Varun. On the other hand, a demand rose for the arrest of Varun's mother too, but police could not prove her direct link in the whole conspiracy. Even though her bank account was used for the payment of thallium, The phone number attached to the bank account was of Varun's, thus making her look innocent. At last, Devinder Sharma requested the court for the custody of Divya's kids, as both of them were only 4 years old at the time of this incident. But it is unclear who actually got their custody. Plus, he also moved to High Court for the investigation of Priyanka's death, and High Court ordered creation of a committee with independent specialist doctors who are asked to submit their investigation reports directly to the High Court. Now it has been 4 years since the incident, and Varun is still in police custody, and court judgment is still pending. Varun had everything in his life that a man dreams of: loving life partner, cute kids, money, luxury, everything. But still, due to meaningless superstitions, he did a heinous crime that cannot be forgiven. So, this was all about the Devinder Sharma family murder case. I hope this story helps you in keeping you and your loved ones safe. Thank you for watching. See you in the next one.